everyone, welcome back and welcome to this awesome marathon of Druzy collaboration for the new molds from MoldsandShapes. This is gonna be a huge launch and there are gonna be 2 weekends. So one weekend is now from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and next week the same. So there are all the ambassadors which are busy on YouTube, which have a YouTube channel and which perform on YouTube. And yeah, we just gathered together and we make this huge mold launch for MoldsandShapes. MoldsandShapes asked us, we were quite happy to do this. So yeah, here we are. Anyway, I will launch this mold. It's the square trinket dish mold from MoldsandShapes. And yeah, I really love this. It's a very awesome mold. And other artists are just having another mold, so you just need to check out. There's going to be a playlist when which artist is launching the video and when and what. And yeah, I'm gonna link this playlist in my description box, and so the other artists are doing this as well, and everyone can just have a look whenever you want to. And yeah, just feel free to just check out everyone. So I'm sure you're gonna wonder who's participating in this collaboration and who's MoldsandShapes ambassador. So there is Claire's Crafty Corner, there's Louise Singleton, there's Petra Jungblut, there is Michelle Glitz and Glitter. Yeah, I really need to think. I'm sorry. There is Resin Art by Lillian, there's Sandra Rettig, there is Art of Chest Jacket, and myself, Peti's Home Art. So just watch everyone creating and enjoy this collaboration because it's huge, and I think such a huge marathon of collaboration has never been done before, and just enjoy. Okay, and now I just continue with my video because I already talked enough, I think. The only thing I want to say again, thank you Marian and Eric from MoldsandShapes for always designing so creative molds. They are really nice mold designs, and thank you for being who you are, because those two are really great. Okay, and now I continue with my video. I already talked too much and I'm not the biggest talker in front of the camera, so take care guys. Bye bye. Hello everyone, welcome back after my long intro video. I'm really sorry. And here it is. It's the awesome Druzy square mold from MoldsandShapes, and it's a trinket dish design and I really love it. It's beautiful. But let me start with my pour. I will come back to the mold later. I just mix my colors so you can see what I'm doing. So I want to achieve the color coffee, and I mixed my ultra cast resin, and I'm using here the pigment drops, and you see how I'm mixing the color coffee with the pigment drops. I need some yellow, I need some red, a little bit of blue and a little bit of black. So this is gonna become the color coffee. I just try to not use too much blue and black, so it's a little bit tricky because the measurements in this color sheets, there the colors are a lot stronger mixed, and because I'm not using as much resin, I don't want it to be too strong that no other color will shine through or whatsoever. So I'm a little bit, figuring out what I can do. I mixed my resin, I didn't let it set. I started straight away with mixing my colors. And now I start mixing a very dark, I don't know if I can call it an orange color, but I'm using orange mica powder. And this is a mica powder from Etta Art. I don't know if it's still in the shop because I have it for quite a long time. And I also add a little bit, and maybe it was a tiny bit too much, of the chocolate, also powder from Etta Art. And I try to achieve more like a copper color, copper brown. And yeah, for me it was already too dark, so I added a little bit more of the orange. But this is how, yeah, how you just figure out if you like the color, what you want to do. And normally you should really go from light to dark, and I went now from dark to a little bit lighter, which is really not okay. I should have used less brown and then slowly mixed. But anyway, sometimes you're just with your mind somewhere, and then you just mix. I don't know, however you want to mix. So now I'm using here the white pigment drops because I also need white for my pour, and I used 12 drops, and my big cup is for a third full, I think. So always make sure that you are stirring your resin very well. I mean your pigments, especially the pigment powders, otherwise you have little particles floating on top, or they drop down the bottom of your pour, and that's not what you want to have. So now I'm taking care for my center, and I'm using some leftover glitters and glass stones, which I have, I think I got them a while ago from Sandra Rettich. So I used what I still had in my little containers. I also used those black stones. And then I have these orange, yeah, iridescent flakes. And I think it might be a nice mixture for the center of my mold. And I'm stirring these also very, very well. And then I'm just curious what the pour is gonna look like. Anyway, while I'm pouring, I can already tell you a little bit about this mold. I mean, I'm now taking care for the rim, and I'm just pouring the coffee color. So let me tell you a little bit about the mold. It's in total 21 by 21 centimeters. And the top plate, which you can see, is 16.5 by 16.5. The total height of the mold is 18 millimeters. The rim itself has 9 millimeter, and from the how shall I tell this, from the center plate up to the rim, it's again 9 centimeters. So these are the measurements of the mold. And now you see that I took some of the clear resin, and the resin, the coffee resin, really pulled already a little bit to the center, and I was not very happy with this. And then I thought I take the coffee again, and I'm just pouring around the edges again. And I'm praying so much that the dark color won't stay on the other side. That due to the amount of clear resin, that it still vanishes a little bit, if you know what I mean. So I was already shocked about myself, but well, I just continued, and now I just take the mixed pigment powder, and it's a gorgeous color. I really like it. I like those organic colors, and I think many of you who are following my YouTube channel, they already know about it. So, and here's my white, and I'm using my white, and I'm just pouring between the coffee and the pigment powder mixture, my copper brown. I call it a copper brown. And there's a lot of white, but I need this white because everything should pull through the center later and hopefully create some nice effects. I also hope that I still see a little bit of the color from the pigment powder which I've mixed, and yeah. Now I pushed again out with clear resin, and I need to take care for the bubbles before I can place my center. So there it is. And I mixed it also with resin, as you saw probably before, and I'm just placing it into the center of the mold. I made like a big paste to it because otherwise it's really floating and you don't want this. And now I just take some of the clear resin and I try to push it a little bit, which is not really successful. So I need to have the dotting tool to help it a little bit because I wanted it to get a shape like a square because it's a square mold and I thought it might match better. And now again the torch, and then I can let the resin do whatever it needs to do. But there were quite a few bubbles on the surface because the day I was pouring it was not the warmest day. And now I just take my leftovers, so my mold is gonna be full and I don't need to sand anything. That's why I'm taking what I have left in my jar. And of course, the more you have on your surface, the more can also pull towards the center. This is what I figured out for myself. And now I'm just curious how this is all gonna turn out. Fingers crossed, because this mold can really cope with a lot of resin. I think I mixed up around about 500 grams. And now there's gonna be the time lapse where you see how nicely the resin is moving to the center. Sometimes I'm helping a little bit with my torch. When you use the torch, of course, always be careful that you are not burning your mold or your resin. So, and you see it's really nicely moving. This time I didn't make the time lapse too fast, but yeah, you see how it's moving and I really like it. So of course I'm hoping for some very nice effects. Anyway, this is the next day and look how it changed. It still changed a little bit after I stopped the time lapse. But now listen to the awesome sound of demolding. Who doesn't like the sound? I like it very much. And yeah, look at this. I already used the mold a couple of times, so there's coming another pour very soon, so stay tuned for it. But now this one, and look at that. I'm so happy with this, and it didn't become too dark, what I was afraid of. So I'm very happy. But unfortunately, right now, because of my light, you cannot see all the effect it made. So I just ask you to stay tuned for my final result. And here it is. And now you can really see how gorgeous it's looking, and it's not too dark. I don't know, the light was not very good when I demolded, so I'm sorry about it. But here it is, and I'm so happy about this pour. And by the way, please don't forget to check out tomorrow's collaboration. There's gonna be Michelle from Glitz and Glitter, there's gonna be resin art by Lillian and Petra Jungblut. And on Sunday, there's gonna be Louise Singleton and Sandra Rettich. And of course, please check out also Claire's video from today. And of course, also Art of Chester Cat. Okay, let me thanks once again Molds and Shapes for this awesome molds. And yeah, take care guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.